Anyway, I'm still going to tell you that Dr. Yee, he is a PhD, has had a very active civic life in these past 90s and the 2000s. And he has spent eight years with the San Francisco Public Education, were you not? Board of Education. And then in 1996, you were elected to the Board of Supervisors. And he is the first Chinese American ever elected to the California State Senate. But he represents District 8, which is our district, and it includes San Francisco and San Mateo County. And he is the first Asian American elected to the legislature's upper house in 40 years. After serving 4 years in the California State Assembly, he was elected to the State Senate in November of 2006, garnering over 78% of the vote, which was the largest percentage of any Democratic candidate with a Republican challenger. During his tenure in the legislature, Senator Yee has fought for children, mental health services, working families, open government, consumer protection, the environment, and civil rights. He has consistently voted against budget cuts to education, social services, and health care. For that, I think we should. And since 2003, Dr. Yee has one of the best track records in getting his bills passed and signed into law. In fact, he has successfully passed 110 pieces of legislation, of which 82 have been chaptered into law. He is born in Hawaii?
China.
China. You were, I stand corrected. Born in China. A little further over. Yeah, that would be on the west side of Hawaii. Well, bow now, David, please. Three key pieces of key legislation that Senator Yee also plans on covering at the Pacifica Democrats meeting this morning are some state budget issues in addition to Senate Bills 662, 920, and 840. I'm not going to go into them. Let him tell you what they are. But let's welcome Senator Yee.
Thank you very much, Barb. And I am most pleased to see all of you. Many of you, we've had many battles working together to take care of our children, local government and environment and education. And so it's just all good to see us together once again. What I thought I would do, and I guess this is at the direction of my district director and Barb, I guess they got together and sort of inspired to review, make sure that I review certain things. So I better do that forthright. All right. There's a couple of bills that I think is extremely important that all of you may want to take note. As you know, part of my legislative career has always been about children, taking care of our families and so on. So I should note that there are two bills that we are moving along quite nicely in the Senate. It's in the Assembly now. One bill has to do with reporting of violence against children. This came out of a situation in Richmond where a girl was raped and attacked, and there were many adults that were in there in the vicinity who saw what happened but did not report. There is a law currently that says that if you, in fact, are witness to a violent act against a child, you have to report. It's 14 years old. Well, all of us know that kids are not just simply 14 years old. They are 15 years old, they're 16 years, they're 17 years old. And so what my bill will basically do is to capture those kids so that they are also protected. So what my bill will do is to simply say that if you are in witness of a violent act against a child, 18 and under 18, you have to report. And these are rape and horrible things that one may or hear that we're doing to our children. And so there is some opposition to it. The district attorneys are not happy about it, because what they want to do is to basically not to contaminate a particular witness. If you, in fact, are obligated to report the fact that you don't report, that is a crime, and you don't want to have a particular witness come into a what you don't want to do is to have a witness coming into court being forced to testify. But I think at the end of the day, we as a society, have a right, and I think have a responsibility to protect our children. And so while I think that there is some legitimate concern on the part of the DA, there has been no evidence whatsoever. There's not one case that has been identified whereby the individual failing to report has in fact been contaminated whatsoever in a court of hearing. And so there's just no evidence of the concerns that the DA has raised. In addition to that, there are certain kinds of exemptions. For example, if you are a family member, you're exempted from that reporting. If you somehow feel that because of gang activity that it's going to be some retaliation, then you are also exempt. But the primary goal, if this particular bill is in fact to send a very clear message to our society and to everyone that children in our society deserve that extra protection, and we should be all eyes and ears to be of help to our kids. Another issue is something that I'm very passionate about, and that is violence against women, domestic violence. In my former life as a child psychologist, I had cases upon cases of individuals, either adults or kids who've had adjustment issues and so on, and problems because one could trace back to some of the domestic violence that went on in their home while they were kids. One of the most horrible things is for our children to grow up in that particular family environment, and for our little boys to see that if you are angry, if you are frustrated, it is okay to hit a woman. And that's just not something that we ought to somehow perpetuate. And so anything and everything that I can do in order to help our little boys not to see that, not to witness that, not to experience that, that's really important. And then for our little girls, that when they grow up, it is okay to somehow have someone to hit you, to hurt you, and so on, because you are not, complying, you're not obedient, you're not listening. And that ought not to, again, be a strategy for, little girls growing up, that's how I'm supposed to be. And I'm supposed to be that kind of victim because that's my role and that's my job, because my mother did that, my grandmother did that, and on and on and on. So it's just really important that we do something about it. There is